I used to hyper focus on the past a lot or
Mm-hmm.
hyper focus on the future.
Yeah.
Either way, and I would stress myself right out, and a lot of things would be passing me by or happening right in front of me. So, well, media is all about what you present and how you present it, the story that you're telling. I get to tell a story too. Sometimes it don't work out, girl. Sometimes some things come out, I'm like, oh God, that's awful. It tastes bad, or it look cute, but it falls apart. I allow myself to grieve that. I allow myself to feel those things, those sense of things that can also isolate me too. Sometimes grief isolate me from the community that is actually here to lift you anyway. Personally, I live with grief every day. It's not something that ever goes away from me. I feel like we're too comfortable living amongst people who are hurt and in unfortunate situations. Two things that really bother me are emails and tea.
On this episode of the Grown Up Millennial Podcast, we're cooking up something great with Chef Mandlana Graham. She's a Jamaican-born, New York-based private chef, entrepreneur, and culinary storyteller. We have been friends since university, and we're going to kind of talk a little bit about how she went from media to being in the kitchen. She is the heart and hands behind Made by Mandlana, the mindful chef. She blends bold Caribbean flavor, mindfulness, and a little magic on every plate. She grew up with a large Jamaican family with 8 siblings. So naturally, she is a people person. She is a self-professed tree hugger. A devoted dog mom to the cutest little bulldog. She's a fashion girl through and through. And honestly, if you see her Instagram, you'll get it. Style for her isn't just about clothes. It's how she shows up in the world with confidence, creativity, and joy. She's a proud member of the LGBTQ plus community, and she wants all the ladies to know she is currently single and ready to mingle. Food is her love language, her home, and work feels like play for this chef. She's been hosting a women's brunch that to her feels like therapy with mimosas. She's been designing menus that tell a story. She's cooking up private dinners that really make people feel seen. And she's leading with intention and care. She makes food look like not just another meal, but an experience. When she's not in the kitchen, she's watering plants, styling outfits, and exploring the city that she calls home. Tune into this episode because you're about to be fed. Follow Mandlana at the Mandlana on Instagram and Mandlana Cooks on TikTok. Stay tuned. Welcome to another episode of the Grown Up Millennial Podcast. I feel like every time I come on here, I say like, oh, this has been an episode months in the making. But this is also one of those times. Mandy and I have been trying to connect, but again, nothing before it's time. Welcome to the Grown Up Millennial Podcast, Mandy.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. I'm a little bit nervous, I'm not gonna lie, but mostly excitement for sure.
So we have 3 check-in questions. And the first one is, what are you thankful for today?
Honestly, I'm just grateful for being present, for being here, I feel very connected right now. So I feel very open and present. And I'm very grateful for that feeling because I feel like that feeling has just allowed different kind of things to happen and opportunities. So I'm just grateful for that feeling. You know what I mean? I'm just grateful to recognize that I'm present and I'm living, I'm alive. Even though everything is like, I'm alive. Yeah, it really is. It's giving screams, it really is. But
Yes.
that's definitely what I feel like I'm grateful for right now.
You know what's so interesting? I had a podcast interview with Tracy yesterday, and we're talking about like reinventing yourself. And what we were referring to in terms of like how we are seeing this new phase of our lives is like being okay with being present and what comes with that, because it feels like for so long we were just like going through the motions and not realizing that we're so untethered. We're thinking about like what happened in the past and like what we need to focus on for the future, but like
Right.
missing the entire journey, which is like that TikTok idea. I kind of forgot that this was the whole point.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So being present is, yeah, I definitely get you on that.
Yeah, I try, I used to hyper focus on the past a lot or
Mm,
hyper focus on the future.
yeah.
Either way, and I would stress myself right out, and a lot of things would be passing me by or happening right in front of me. So I'm really, really grateful to be in that place right now.
Love that.
Yeah.
If you do hear me scream, there is a lizard coming close
Ah,
to
I would
where I'm
scream
recording.
too. Yeah, I
And
would scream. It's
I feel
really
like we
fun.
have an understanding out here, but he's getting a little close. But I'm gonna continue. Not gonna let my fear get to me today. Um, what is your favorite quote right now?
I had a really, really great conversation with somebody the other day. And, we're talking about giving yourself grace.
Hmm.
And, we say that all the time, but I was actually saying to him, I don't really think I really know what that means, like what that gets to, feel like really. And this person said to me, his name is Adam. Adam said to me, you get to, update your commitment on something. So if you're trying to tackle
Mm.
something in a certain way and it doesn't work out how you imagine, instead of giving up on the thing, you get to look at it a different way and update your commitment to keep your integrity to the thing. Right. And I don't know if that makes sense how I
Of
explain it.
course.
Allowing myself to breathe, you know what I'm saying? I say, oh God, okay, I'm not wrong. Maybe I
Yeah.
just got to do it a little bit different.
Update your
So
commitment. Wow. Come on,
update your
Adam.
commitment.
That was a
Hey,
word.
hey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? That's fair because I think a lot of us are like in this wellness speak and we're not really sure what it actually looks like. So for you to
Mm-hmm.
say, yeah, give myself grace, but like what I look like, what I feel like,
Exactly.
was so important because we're in this like, yeah, self-care, yeah, this, yeah, all these buzzwords, but do we know what it means? What are we
Exactly.
really doing? What does that talk?
We're just
Let's
saying
know.
the thing.
Yeah, yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
it's the cool thing to do. It's to say the thing. But doing the thing is where the actual peace and like alignment and that connection comes in.
For sure.
And then that final checkout question is which check-in question, not checkout. Wow.
Okay.
Which song is on repeat on your playlist?
Oh my gosh, what was I listening to? I have to admit, these last couple of days, I've been listening to, and I'm not mad at my millennial age, but I love me some Mary J. Blige, and I was listening to Just Fine. It
Oh, that's
was,
a banger.
yeah, it was,
Oh.
because I'm curating this event, and I was just trying to put myself in that headspace, and that song, I've been having that on repeat for
Yeah,
a
it's a
couple of
vibe.
days now. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Honestly, Mary, that era of like Mary J. Blige and like even Lil Kim back in the day, I feel like I still like my parents know. Like that was
Zoe,
music. That
Zoe,
was that was music. I'm not sure what's happening now, but
that
that
was
was
music. That's
that
so
was
funny.
music.
Boogie I got no man.
Yeah,
Miss
right?
Boogie I got
Everything
no
is
man.
noise. Everything is noise. I can't.
Yeah,
But you touch a little bit on the events you're creating and those kinds of things. But for people who don't know, I feel like we've known each other for quite some time. For the
yeah, we have.
listeners who are not quite sure who Mandy Graham is, tell us a little bit about yourself. What are you passionate about? Kind of what caused this shift for you? Because when we met, you were not a chef. Um, no, you're a big chef. Like, what? Who are you? What's going on?
Oh my gosh. All right, well, my name is Mandlana. My history is from Jamaica. I'm born Jamaican. We met at University of West Indies,
Ooh.
doing studying media and communication, and I really thought that that's the direction that my life was going to end up in.
Mm-hmm.
And I moved to New York to be with somebody at the time, and I couldn't get a job. I couldn't get a job, and I was wondering what am I going to do to survive, because obviously I need a job. New York is very
Mm-hmm.
expensive,
Bad.
and one of the first jobs I got was at a fine dining restaurant.
Damn.
Um,
Not for the
yeah,
first job.
I don't know how I landed that, but the chef that interviewed me, he was impressed, and he kind of felt like he could teach me, right? Like he felt like I
Mm.
was teachable, and I showed him that. I was like, I'm a student, I'm not perfect, I don't know how to do anything really, but I'm a fast learner. Boom. hired me, and the first night when I went in and I saw just like the artistry, the team, the food, the colors, the excitement, the execution, the rhythm, I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like they're turning vegetables into like art pieces and telling
Mm.
stories with food. And I was hooked immediately. That was it for me. I mean, I had always loved to cook, but I had never even thought about cooking like that, you know. And also, it taught me a lot about teamwork. You know, if your team is, if we're not working together, it can really all go down. It just taught me so many things at a time in my life where I kind of was receptive, and it just made a really big impression. So since then, I have just been cooking. Cooking has been my life. I'm very passionate about it. I consider
That's so
myself to
great.
be a food artist, honestly. Like
Ooh,
it's not
yeah.
just about producing the food, but producing it in this certain way that, you know, gives a new experience to somebody. So that I don't know how if I explain it, you know, but that's how I feel about what I'm doing now. And being with that New York experience in the restaurant world for the 6 years, and then from the pandemic going on my own as a private chef, it's been even more like amazing. I've been able to learn so much, experience so much, and see so much in New York. Like I'm grateful. But that's how it flipped from, you know, us at UE to, you
To
know,
know
me
you're a whole
now.
chef.
Yeah, yeah,
Curating experiences.
yeah.
Wow. Um, as you're talking about artistry, I honestly think anybody who decides to like cook food for people for a living, like that feels like a big responsibility. Because I cook food just so I live. Like I just so I'm gonna like shrivel up. That's why I'm cooking food. But for you to be able to like pair things with things and that, like, what does that feel like to you to be able to like come up with a menu now as a private chef, coming from like a media background, which is
Coming from a media background, well, you know, media is all about what you present and how you present it, the story that you're telling. I get to tell a story too. When I
ah,
was working in the restaurant world, you know, I could only go so far. Under each restaurant I was, you know, whether I was the manager, the kitchen manager, or the sous chef, like I couldn't be the chef, you know, so I had to follow the direction of the chef, and it was always their dream, you know, that I'm building.
yes.
And so for me, when I realized that I've learned as much as I can from each place I was, kind of earned my stripes, I was like, you know what? I want to tell my story. I'm from Jamaica and I'm living in New York and I'm doing all these different things, and I feel like my experience will afford me to share something new. And so that really lit something in me and helped me to curate a menu. So, all right, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I'm like, what am I gonna eat today? You know? But when I'm doing it for somebody else, it's so
Mm-hmm.
easy. It's so
Mm-hmm.
easy. It's like, okay, boom, what are we working? We're working with this budget. And I'm looking through their home, like going through their drawers, like, what do you have? Like I got to use all of these things. Um, and I'm like, all right, I have this, I have that, I have this, I have that. I'm like, all right, what can I do with this? What are the things that I need to create this? And also keep that in budget. And I just get to create all these different combinations and flavors and textures and colors. And um, it's really amazing. I don't know if you can tell how passionate I feel about it, but like, yeah, like it gives me a whole new opportunity. So one of the things is that every week I make a brand new recipe. I try something I've
Mm.
never made before. Right. So to me that keeps it exciting. Sometimes it don't work out, girl. Sometimes some things come out, I'm like, oh God, that's awful. It tastes bad, or you know, it look cute but it falls apart, or something, you know, it doesn't always end up perfect. But I get to learn from it, and I can double up and say, all right, next time, start still. And so that's just always kept me going and helped me to build my menus. Also, I build my menus based on my clients' needs, you know, their budget as well. You know, I have clients who are like gluten free or vegan or pescatarian, you know, the different kind of food requirements, allergies, you know, losing weight, you know, cutting down pressure, all kind of stuff. So with
Mm.
all of that, that helps me to build the menu from there.
I'm not gonna lie to you, that sounds like a lot of work. It
You know,
seems.
for me, nah. Once I have a cup of coffee and my notepad, I build a menu in like 15, 20 minutes, and I'm on it. I'm starting it right away.
And I think sometimes that's the shift is what we're afraid of, right? Because now you found the thing you're passionate about, and you probably wouldn't have if you hadn't like gone through this kind of tumultuous kind of experience.
Right.
But we're so afraid of that shift of I went to school for this. It feels like I am wasting like time and money
And
and
my parents'
whatever
money.
doing this other thing. Like,
Yeah,
how am I gonna explain to
yeah,
mommy and daddy now? Say,
yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah,
like I did this
yeah.
whole thing, but now I'm gonna like cook meals. That's what I'm passionate about. So how did you find that kind of balance to because I know as Jamaican children, like our parents, even as big as we are, there is this kind of tie that our Caribbean parents have on us. And it feels like, yes, we're charting our own path, but it also feels like because they have put so much into us, it's also a part of their story. How did you reconcile this to be like, all right, I understand this is a big shift, but this is really what I want to do? And how did they take that also?
I have to laugh because, man, I will admit I come from a family that's traditional, especially in the concept of certain things that we tie into being a successful adult, right? So I have doctors in my family. You know, my mother was a dean. You know, my father's a surgeon. Like certain little things. You know, my sister's an attorney, and here we go. You know, here's Monday talking about she cooking for people in their house.
What do you
um,
mean?
you know, it when I definitely shared it, there were some concerns, but also in the way that they knew how to support, they'd be like, okay, well, I mean, didn't see that coming, but how can you also sharpen your skill now? Now that you're going in this direction, are you going to go back to school? Are you going to do this? I still tried it my own way. I did it through experience, and I don't regret it personally. I learned a lot being in New York kitchens. Um, but also I know had that I had to be accountable now for that choice, right?
Yeah.
Didn't decide to do the thing that we said we was doing and went to school for and paid a lot of money for. So I have to make sure that this thing works. So I do always have that, that is a way to carry on me. That's art, because I always, I admire my parents' success,
Yeah.
and I always want them to view me as somebody who could be successful or who is successful. That
Yeah.
always mattered to me. Like if I had their respect on that, that would give me a lot of peace. So I always work towards that, but to also give myself grace too, that
Mm-hmm.
maybe, possibly, it is a possibility that they don't look at it the same way, and it shouldn't deter me from doing the thing, right? I can still love them and they can still love me in that space of understanding that, yeah, I'm still going to do that.
Yeah, I'm still
But
gonna
I
do it.
definitely, yeah, I've
Yeah.
come to a place where they respect it because they see me keep going on it, keep building on it. And obviously I'm not coming back to to
To
what they
where it
thought
is
the thing
now. Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's how I reckon. I just try to, make them proud and show them the things I'm doing to, yeah.
Nice. And as you were talking about your family being traditional, it was the same thing.
Mm.
When I was choosing media, it was like a whole what are you talking about? Like from coming from a line of teachers,
Yeah, man.
and this is professor of this, and this person is a pharmacist and doctor.
Mm.
Like, what are
Mm.
you talking about? Media?
Yeah, me.
It's like, what are you talking about, girl?
But I don't
So
want to write prescriptions for a living. I'm sorry.
no, no, and like look at blood? Absolutely
But
not.
people open, excuse me? No
It's
thanks.
not gonna be me. It's not gonna be me. I remember one time I went to the hospital and the nurse put the needle in but didn't close the end and the blood just squirted out on the floor and I'm like, excuse me? No thanks. It's a big
No,
no for me.
no.
Can you imagine somebody blood? Oh, absolutely not.
No, I
I'm
can't.
quitting. I'm
It's
quitting.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think what has been clear to me though, from like even those UE days, is that you've always been big on community and family connections. And
Sure.
in this space that we're in, which it feels strange, us in our 30s going through these periods of loss, like not just of people passing away, but also like relationship loss and the friendship loss and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Having experienced the gravity of these losses, like how do you think it has changed or shaped how you're like facing life right now?
Um.
You don't want to feel heavy, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It's me.
I
It's me
want to
ask
like
you to feel heavy for true.
leaping on my butt. Oh. Oh man. So I'm one of nine kids. Right. I got nine.
Damn,
Well, I
that's
have nine siblings. I have eight, but I have a cousin that he's just my brother. I just call him my sibling. So
mm,
to me, I have nine. I grew up in community. First of all, I
nice.
couldn't
Yeah.
escape that. Whether I decided to be whatever. So I think it gave me a lot of people skills
Mm,
because I had different personalities I had to work with. Who I can trick for this, who I can't trick for that. Um, Community has always built me. So for the persons who were in my community that are no longer in my community as well, um, for me, I try to allow myself to grieve that, allow myself to feel those
mm,
things, those sense of things that can also isolate me too. Sometimes grief isolate people from the community that is actually here to
yes.
lift you anyway. But what I have realized is
Mm-hmm.
that I have to be a part of community. Without community, we are nothing. We cannot survive. The food you eat, the lights over you, everything revolves around us working together as a team. And so I kind of
Yeah.
allow myself to feel those things, and then allow myself to do some things that will bring, some peace in community, and also, to for those people who are no longer a part of my community, to kind of still embrace that experience. I've had friendships end recently that was tough. We're friends for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and so a part of me had to let it go and acknowledge that there were actually some amazing and beautiful times about that. And it's okay to celebrate that still. You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah.
have to live on the terrible thing. I get to acknowledge the terrible thing, whether it's grief or whatever it is, but I don't have to live in it. And I get to
Yeah.
choose. I have to remind myself that I still have a choice. So
Oh,
I don't know.
that's big.
I don't know if
I
that
think
answers.
back in the day, it felt like you had to, it had to be sadness, right? Like you have to focus on all the things it didn't get to do with the person
Mhm.
and all the things that could have been, like regardless of whether it's a friendship or somebody actually passing away, it was like I have to be sad about this because
Yeah.
something ended prematurely.
Right.
And now I am more in a space of, boy, you know what? Like it's okay, we can cry it out for a little while, we can be sad for a little while. But I feel like now that I am in a space where I am able to see the growth that I was able to accomplish while this person was in my life, regardless of a friendship or whatever it was, it makes things look a little bit different for me. But then I'm also mindful that like there's no ending to the grief. Like like you're not gonna
Yeah.
say, well, I'll pack it up and I'm okay now. And sometimes I think that is a scary piece for me, that like you feel like you're over it, but there's really no over it.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
totally understand that. Personally, I live with grief every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that ever goes away from me, but I've definitely learned to cope and deal with grief in a different way. So yeah, it sometimes I was nervous that it felt dismissive, like I wasn't really,
Mm,
I was just kind of packing away the thing.
yeah.
But the truth is, I don't think that's really how I was dealing with it. I just understood it as a part of the game.
Mm,
You're gonna lose some things are not gonna work the same way. But it doesn't mean that the time or the void that it filled for then, it can be useful in the future as well. So for
mm,
me personally, like with grief, I allow myself to feel sad sometimes. Sometimes that sadness does, come up unexpectedly. But in doing things when I'm thinking about that person, I'm like, all right, damn, I'm missing that person. Why am I missing that person? Maybe me and that person used to do this thing, or maybe this thing is kind of triggering that emotion, and I try to flip it around.
mhm.
One of the things that one of my friends had actually suggested to me the other day was honoring my mother with a dish, right? Because I've lost my mom.
Oh,
It's been 6 years now, and he
mhm.
was like, "You should make a dish about your mother, like something that maybe you enjoy that she did." And I was like, "Wow, I've never thought about immortalizing someone with food, right?"
Mm,
So that gives me like a new opportunity to deal with the grief, right? So that's something I've allowed myself to do is the way how I knew things to work, I kind of give myself the grace to understand that I don't have the answers,
Yeah.
but I know how I feel,
Yeah.
and I can try to figure out how to maneuver it instead of sitting in it. Because I've
Mm.
definitely tried the sitting in it, and trust me, girl, I've done it. I've done the freeze mode, I've done the dismissive mode,
Mm-hmm.
and I've realized that those things, they do come back
Yeah.
or they stop you. So instead of having the perfect way to deal with the thing, you just get to try on new things, do something that would, remind you of that thing that made you sad. Maybe you can do it a different way, like for me, I'll go play pool. I miss my friend. I have a friend that passed away almost 2 years now. It's been a year, but I miss him all the time. And this summer I actually tried to honor him by doing the things that we said we were going to do together.
Mm.
So like even tonight I go into a basketball game. That's something that he knows, we've talked about. We just never ended up doing it. And so instead of it being something just to be sad about, because I get to be sad too,
Yeah.
that's totally okay.
Yeah. I love that. Condolences all around because I mean,
Yeah.
even though it's not fresh, there are days that it feels fresh. Um,
Of course.
and
Of
yeah,
course.
there's no way getting over it. To be fair, like it's
Yeah.
not possible. Um,
Yeah.
but also making space for that and allowing it to like happen in different ways, like making a dish for your mother, like it's so good. Like I've
Right?
recently been watching Black Cake on Hulu,
Mm-hmm.
and it took them a while to kind of get around because of course Jamaican parents, all these little stories that they had and hid and whatever, and then it took them a time to kind of get back to like, okay, we can make this cake in honor of
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of thing. So that's such a great way to think about it. Yeah, live your life still because you have it, so honor them in the
Yeah.
life that you're living. Love that.
Exactly. Exactly.
um but no, I'm gonna shift things a little bit.
Hey.
If money was no object,
Ah,
if we not think about the bills for pay
what a
and
mercy.
dog treats to buy and all these things, what would you be doing with your time?
Money, 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 come to me. Um, if money was not an object, man, I feel like this question has been asked in everybody's lifetime so many different ways, and I think
Mm-hmm.
the answer gets to change as time goes. Cause
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, like when I was 18, if you asked me that, I want a mansion, something like Mr. on MTV Cribs. That's what I want my money now. All right, one piece of me would definitely want to explore all those childhood dreams of things that I wanted to do and never got the chance to do.
Mm.
Like, let me see. I've never been to Europe. And as a child growing up, I had family there. So I'll probably just do that. And then now, as a grown up, I definitely have things I would love to experience as an adult. So I definitely would invest in that. One of the things that it sounds ridiculous, but I would buy time, if that makes sense. I would try to buy time with people. So if I
Mm.
could, if you were gonna, I can't come out with you because I'm gonna miss work. All right, I'll pay for you your bills for the month, and me, you go do this thing, right? I would buy the time with people,
Mm.
and just take care of them and us, and allow us to do the things that we really want to do. But another thing that I was thinking about the other day when it came onto money is, if money was no object, honestly, I think my charity game would be on 2 million. It'd be on 2 million. I feel like we're too comfortable living amongst people who are hurt and in unfortunate situations.
Yeah.
Especially in New York. Like, last night I had dinner with my brother, and we had a good time, we laugh, and then we walk out and there's like a man living on the street.
Yeah.
Like, how do you live with that? You just
Mm.
live amongst that kind of pain. I would try to do something about it. I don't think I could solve all of it, but I would definitely, if money was no object, that guy wouldn't be lying right there for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
As you were saying, like how we're so comfortable people having less, that literally was one of the things that came to my mind earlier this year. That like the world is burning, bro. Like there's
Is it just me? Like, do you,
like, are
do
we
you not
not
see that your
seeing what's
shoes are on
happening?
fire right now? Like,
And people
whoa,
just are
it's
talking about
crazy.
Amazon must haves, and I'm like, guys, what? Are we okay?
Amazon must have. I'm screaming right now.
Just
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
weird. Like I honestly don't know what to attribute to this. I mean, obviously it's going to be tied to capitalism in some way, but it feels like
there we go.
exactly what you're saying. We've become so comfortable with
Yeah,
seeing our fellow human
uh-huh.
not close to where we are at all, and like not even thinking there's anything we can do about it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I felt so helpless, and I really don't like that feeling.
Yeah.
And at least I would have peace if everybody feels that way. But at sometimes I feel like people don't even, it doesn't even phase
Here.
them. Like
People
you said,
don't care.
Amazon top buy or whatever, like,
Yeah.
or Love Island USA. I do like that show as well too, I have to admit. But we're just too comfortable. We're too comfortable
Yeah.
sitting amongst the burning house, and I think it's gonna burn out all of us. It affects all of
Literally.
us.
Yeah.
It affects all of us.
Maybe
Yeah.
you're not gonna burn today, but like we're gonna
Yeah.
all burn at some
But
point.
you think, yeah, your things are
Yeah.
gonna go burn down. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Crazy. Wild.
Hmm.
But on a happier note,
Hey, let's
so
go up.
it's the
Lift.
peaks and pits for me.
Live.
Um
But that's to be honest with you, Nicola, that's the reflection of every day. Literally, like every day. No day is gonna be a perfect 100%. Like
yeah.
there's going to be bad things and good things. And I've learned to accept that. I'm okay with that. That gives me so much peace to maneuver through those things, right? So
Yeah.
it's heavy, yeah, but I don't have to hold it forever, right? I can lift that
That's
heavy
the
thing and put it down
key.
somewhere else.
You can
Yeah.
put it down. It's everybody can put it
Yeah.
down somewhere.
I can
Love
put it
that.
down, yeah. Yeah.
Um, what would you say is the best thing that has happened to you since the start of the year?
I've had so many best things
Mm,
happen this year. And it doesn't necessarily mean that my life is incredibly better this year. I think the way that I'm looking at things and dealing with things now is just a lot different.
yeah.
And it took work though, girl. I went to therapy consistently for 6 months. Hey,
Yes.
shout out to Janae, my girl. But no, seriously, I put the work in. I put the work in.
Mhm.
So now every day almost feels like a brand new opportunity. So I've been grateful and happy for all the things that have happened, even the things that weren't so good, because the no's led to, okay, what's the different plan, and the different plan has either introduced me to new people, new opportunities.
Mhm.
So the best thing that's happened this year so far maybe is just me being open and present. I think I really worked on that, and I think it's been highly beneficial in so many areas I can't even quantify it, to be honest with you.
Oh, that's so good because I think a lot of the times when we're either future focused or like obsessed with the past, we're
Mhm.
missing the blessings of the now, and everything
Yeah.
feels like it's tumbling down. Because I remember when I was talking to my therapist, um, and I hadn't been getting sleep. Like me and sleep, not friends.
Same.
I and she said to me, "Do you feel like you're catastrophist?" That word killed me every time.
Catastrophize cats.
That
Guy got me too. I know what you mean though.
that's one. Do you feel like you're doing that because your brain hasn't had the time to rest?
Mm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
when she said that to me, it also made me think about like if you okay, your brain is not resting, but also your entire body is not resting because you're just on to the next thing all the time. So you're only going to see the negatives. You're not going to see anything happening because you feel like you're behind and you're not hitting the goals and all these things. But I spoke to this guy, hear me, this guy, this big man, um,
This guy.
on the weekend. He was
Guy on the guy.
former CEO of Red Stripe, and he was saying entrepreneurship is this thing where sometimes you get so caught up on the destination you forget about the journey, and it's
Seriously.
really about the journey.
Yeah.
And what you're saying about being present allows you to be there for the journey. So while it's probably not the best year you've had in your life, you're probably seeing more of the good things, the blessings that have happened because you're now in that space to see that instead of the lack.
Yeah.
And that's such
For
a
sure.
great space to be in. Love that.
Yeah, it takes work. It takes a little,
Yeah.
accountability and humbleness to get there.
Hmm.
It's not necessarily the most beautiful journey, but you get to be as brutally honest with yourself a little bit, and then also just know that, yeah, maybe you're self-flogging at this point. Take it easy, right? Just
Hmm.
one foot in front of the other, one day at a time, right? What little things that have given me um A good look at life is just literally the little things, a good cup of
Yes.
coffee,
Yes.
a new leaf on my plant. That I allow myself to be excited about those things
Mm,
and not worry about how the next person will look at that. I know what works for me, right? So I
yeah.
invest in those things and I get to do that every day. I realize as an adult, oh my goodness, there's literally everyday work. There's
Yes.
no getting away from it. All right, so let me just make it work for me.
Yeah.
Right. So that's how I try to look at it too. Right.
And life hard already, man.
It
Jesus.
is
You need
hard,
a little joy some days. Damn.
Yes, I'll take it. I'll take it for real.
But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like even before this iteration of you, you've always been like this happy, bubbly kind of person, always with a smile. And you kind of have this aura about you. Like I don't have to be in your presence to feel it. Like even in our little Instagram DMs, it feels like a ray of sunshine almost.
Oh
And
man.
I'm not gonna say like the bad mind version of this questions, why you're so happy, but like what what you think accounts for like you having this kind of disposition, like meeting the world with a smile?
Man, me seeing the world with a smile. Sometimes I don't want to smile with some people, Some people don't deserve my smile still,
That's true. That's true.
But yeah, I've always been that person. I do love to make people laugh, always from morning. When people laugh, I laugh. So in that, I kind of realize that in giving, I get, right?
Mm,
So I've learned to manipulate that giving to look like things I never even know it could look like, right? So like giving to myself, giving to my space, all those little things just add up to that feeling I get inside. All right, maybe I'm not feeling the best today. I wake up feeling like crap. I got stuff I gotta do. I didn't do it yet. I have people on my back and emails to read.
oh, the
Oh man,
emails,
I'm not.
there's so many.
It sounds funny, and maybe it's the way how I look at life, why it feels a little less stressful to the onlooker. But two things that really bother me are emails and tea. Like those two things make me so angry, right?
Tea.
Like let me explain. Let me explain, right?
Hmm.
Emails feel like you are trying to access me at any given time. I'm supposed to respond to this, and now I have to put on this formal attire to address you on this thing. That makes me bothered, right? Sometimes even thinking about it that way makes me laugh, and so that makes it easier to do the email because I'm like, watch out. If they only knew how much this is killing me inside,
Yeah.
and I get to laugh about that thing. And then also tea is hot drinks, bro. I don't care what nobody want to tell me. That's a hot drink. That's like drinking a hot soda to me, and I don't get it. I don't get it. So it bothers me. Um, I let things like that bother me than to pick up, the politics of today,
Yeah.
right? Because it's too heavy for me to
Too
carry on that.
much. Yeah.
It's too much. So the things that I don't have to carry, I ain't carrying them. Or
Period.
maybe I carry them and put them down somewhere.
Mm.
But in terms of seeming happy, I just honestly I get to choose. I get to choose. I get to wave to a new person and say hi. I get to, you know, see somebody's dog and say, "Oh my God, that dog's cute," or smile with somebody's baby. Those things all attribute to how I'm feeling, right? Me personally, I love to dress up. You ain't gonna catch me one day slipping. No
That's
way,
true. I'm
because
not gonna lie. Yeah.
because yeah, because that's a part of my armor to feel good.
Mm.
And it may look crazy to somebody else. Oh, she's just going to Costco. Shout out to Costco.
Always Costco, bro. It's
It's
gonna
been
be
two
Costco for
weeks
me.
and I'm in love. But I will dress up and wear my cowboy hat and my best outfit and go to Costco and buy the thing that I really want. And to somebody else,
Mm.
it may seem like over much or overdo it.
You're doing
But
too
I'm gonna
much.
overdo it if it
You don't
feels
want to
good
do
to
too
me.
much.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So all those things make me appear to the onlooker that I'm walking with joy. I'm walking with joy and other things, but I
Mm.
get to choose, and sometimes I'm just choosing the piece, bro. I'm just choosing the outfit. I'm gonna just choose this and just allow each thing to kind of maybe build on the day. Some days it'll all collapse, but I don't. I try not to just not do anything about it, right? Because that's probably the worst position for me.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So yeah, I don't know if I have. I cuss every day. I took two clots, or you know what I'm saying. I said WTF every day at least
Balance.
20
It's
times.
balance.
And that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
you know, and that helps me to release some of that pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Cost clot, man.
Yeah.
Chip it off
Yeah.
rather than, do something kind of dramatic besides that.
Yeah.
Language has always been a great tool for me
Mm.
to execute my emotions and work through them. Whether talking to myself, my friends, writing it out, journaling, something about language just allows that peace
Mm.
to just sit inside,
Love
kind
that.
of make space for that. Yeah. Yeah.
And
I feel very preachy, but I don't know if
no,
I hope not. I just talking
no,
from like
yeah.
my authentic truth, you know what I mean? So yeah.
And one of the things as you're talking about clothes, because I didn't realize, like, yeah, everybody dress good, right? That is a thing. In
Mm.
Jamaica, people like to look good, right? And in my family, like my mother always dressed up, and it's a whole thing. And I didn't realize how much I had like a connection to clothes and how much it could affect my emotions
Oh
until like
yeah.
really the pandemic,
Hmm.
when I knew what I was feeling at those different points in the pandemic. Like I used to get up and dress up, and the days I wasn't, I would just be in my pajamas all day. Like you're gonna know what you're getting. And then I remember when I was working retail years ago at the store Anthropology, and my coworker Taylor said to me, "I do not
Anthropology, all
Anthropology."
right.
Yes.
I
Oh dear
see
though.
you.
So
I
dear.
see you.
But the people I met were so amazing. And Taylor said to me, she doesn't understand the concept of different clothes for different things. Like why you have work clothes and going out clothes and club clothes, it's all clothes. And at
Mm-hmm.
the time, I'm like, me just come from Jamaica, Like me have my clothes separate in my closet.
Foot
So
clothes and yard
yeah,
clothes.
it was a weird concept to me until a few
Yeah.
years ago. I'm like, yeah, I just clothes. Like if I want to wear my clothes, cause why am I saving this?
Yeah.
Wear your clothes. You're going to Costco. Wear your clothes.
This might not even
Yeah.
fit me next year.
Who
The way
knows?
I'm going. The way
Right?
I'm going. I'm like, well, this belly skin might not work out. So I'm gonna work
Right,
it now. Right?
right now.
Before the
Immediately.
time
Wear
up.
your
Yeah.
clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wear the
For
stuff.
sure.
And
Yeah.
I also feel like life really as an adult is thing after thing after thing. Like whether it is
Mhm.
something too heavy to carry or maybe something small, depending on what our triggers are, even that small thing can be a heavy burden.
Right.
You've spoken a little bit about how you're kind of finding peace, but how do you kind of mindfully take this time for yourself, especially now as an entrepreneur? So many people need you to be on. You're doing all these different things for other people, but how are you also serving yourself um,
Mm.
in this space? Because I feel like it's easy to kind of gloss over your needs as an
Yeah.
entrepreneur because you're building business and you're doing this and you want to ensure that the clients, like, you're meeting expectations, but
Yeah.
how are you also meeting your needs?
Yeah. I definitely believe that to meet your own needs, you have to be intentional about it. If you don't look out for you like how you need to be looked out for, you can't count on somebody else to do that. So one of the things that I have been doing, I've been doing this for about, I want to say like a year and a half now, is that I date myself, right? So every
Love
Thursday I
that.
date myself. Also, ladies, so you know, a lot of places have ladies' night on a Thursday. It's a great time for you to just have that alone time in a good way. Sometimes we take alone time as home watching TV. Nah, I will dress up. I will take myself to dinner. I'll go to the art galleries. I'll go play pool by myself. I've made friends that way, just by being intentional. I have to do the things. I have to pour into myself because being an extrovert, I pour a lot into people. It leaves me kind of naked and vulnerable, and
Yeah.
I can't count on people to always pour back into me in that way. Some
Hmm.
people can to some capacity, but I have to pour back into myself. So
Yeah.
I date myself. It's called Date Myself Thursday. My friends know Thursday they call me, I'm out doing my
I'm out,
thing.
bro.
Yeah, I'm out doing my thing, and sometimes I'll do it with people. But the point is, even if I feel like crap, even if I feel, can I curse on here?
Yeah. Yeah. Express
Even if
yourself.
I feel like shit, right? Even if I don't want to go anywhere, I'm definitely gonna just do the thing, because most times, if not all, I never regret doing that thing. And so little things like waking up, doing my little affirmations, doing my stretching and my yoga, water my plants on a daily. I got a dog, it's a constant responsibility. So those little things that I get to choose for myself and pour into myself, they may seem small, but they all add up to that grand, greater picture of what it is that I am trying to do. So, and we all trying to survive out here, you'd be surprised that little candle or that incense or, that little, I don't know, playlist. Just those things, I incorporate them. I try to be intentional on a daily about those things. And they've really just allowed me to be present, and allow me to feel okay. And if I need community, I'll go find it, but I definitely try to make that a part of not just me doing me on my self date alone Thursday. I get to incorporate it with friends and family. Like this Thursday, I'm gonna play pool with my brother. Most likely, I'm gonna bust him shut. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. But if I just went to work and came home and went to work and came home, I would be drained
Yeah,
without nothing,
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Honestly, you just have to find those moments. I remember my father, he had gone through like a pretty serious stroke. And at the
I'm
time,
so sorry.
somehow, this was years ago. He's
Mm.
fine now, doing too much.
Wait,
But
wait, not you cussing him off.
he's doing too
Go
much
sit
right
down,
now.
daddy. Yeah.
Oh my God. And my mother was like, "Oh, you're out every weekend." She was concerned, like we're not spending enough time and whatever. Suppose something happened. And he sat me down and he said to me, "Listen, hypertension running your family. You have one of the things that feel like rest to you. So if it's
Yeah.
going to beach every weekend, you go to beach every weekend. Whatever it is, you need to do it." And for him to say that to me, somebody who never used to take vacation, because entrepreneur 24/7,
Man, don't
and
stop.
there's no rest time. Like you're on summer holiday, he's giving you a list of words that you have to look up and use in sentences with him every day.
Why
Like
are our parents like this?
no rest. Okay, what is a rest? So for him to say that to
Right.
me, I was like, ah, okay, I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One of the things that I was talking to somebody about the other day is that I struggle with resting. I feel so guilty to rest.
yeah,
Like I have a day off and I'm like, oh no, maybe I should do my laundry. I need to like clean my apartment. Maybe I need to go run to the store. And literally rest is just to stop.
just
In a way that feels
yeah,
good for you,
yeah,
because some people stop different. Some people prefer to just, scroll, or maybe some people want to sleep. Some people maybe want to, whatever considers rest. But we've always felt so guilty because our parents are like, what? Big sat down, your shoes not clean yet for Monday?
can I
Like,
get a pause?
golly, like it's 10 a.m. It's
Yeah,
10 a.m. on a Saturday. I'm just trying to live. I'm just trying not to be at school. I'm just trying to be alive. And to be honest with you, I have to say that comes from our colonial trauma, from the
absolutely.
past. You know what I mean? Of being felt guilty to not be doing work and
Yeah,
be flogged for that. We
yeah.
don't really realize that actually translates into the things that we're doing on a daily. You have
Mm-hmm.
to finish your food now because you never know when you're going to eat again. All
Yeah.
those little things, we don't realize that we have to kind of unlearn some of those pieces. Yeah, I'm full, and like my body's saying stop. I
Yeah.
can't just eat because, oh, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. That's, we have to understand that that stuff is coming from a lot of years of trauma.
Yeah.
So rest is so necessary, and it gets
Hmm.
to look different for different people. People will be like, oh, you lie down a whole day.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I did do that. I did do that. I'm not gonna lie. My body was saying that, hey, this is the thing I need right now. So
But the
yeah.
thing too is that you either do it or your body will do it for you. Like,
Hey,
so
yeah.
let's not, and then you have to go
Let's not
pay
play.
whoever to watch you in the hospital. Please,
Remember, so we're millennial now, I have to take it easy on the
you
last
have
time
to
because
take
the
it
20s,
easy.
the 20s rest. Who need rest?
That's
Day
true.
party to
What is
night
what is
party
sleep?
to road to beach to friend link up. Right now, baby, hey, don't text me after 8
Mm-mm.
if you're expecting to see me.
No.
Absolutely not.
One
No.
listen, one of my friends, I was visiting Vancouver the other day and it was her birthday, like it was within her birthday period, and she was inviting me to her birthday dinner. and she said 8 p.m. and I had to give myself a pep talk, okay,
Hey, hey,
to leave, to arrive at the
this.
place, to eat at 8 p.m. And then she texted me, she's like, oh, 8:30. I was like, oh my God. Like,
Oh, you don't want to see me at all. Actually, you're trying to end this friendship is actually where I see this conversation going.
I had to give myself a pep talk. Like, you're here. You're not going to be here next birthday. Like, you have to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But
Did you
sometimes
regret it
you have
though?
to, no, no,
Exactly.
no.
Exactly.
Sometimes
So
you have to do the thing.
it's okay to have that conversation with yourself and kiss
Yeah.
your teeth time and say, boy,
All
could I stay
right.
home and watch two Netflix right now? But
Yeah, my God, wait.
you never really regret it. You never really regret it.
That's true. That is true.
And if
But
you do, you probably learn something from it. So
if you do, maybe you're the wrong person you do it for. You
yes,
understand?
yes.
Like,
That's
maybe
what I say. You
oh,
learn something from it. You're
yeah.
like, I actually never want to see this person again. I've done that, girl. I've gone out with somebody and I'm just like, you know what?
Mm-mm.
This is not working anymore.
Something feel
So yeah,
off,
man.
right? So yeah.
Yeah. This not work for me still.
And we have
So
to be honest with
switch up.
ourselves. Like, you
Mm,
don't have to keep every friend.
yeah, yeah.
It is what it is. Uh,
Yeah, I've
yeah.
gotten older and I realize that it doesn't mean that we have beef, but it just means that the trajectory that I'm on and the people in my network right now, I kind of need them to do certain things that fill certain roles for me, and it's
Yeah.
okay for me to choose that. It don't mean that we have beef. We can still be friends. We can still see each other, hang out. I just understand for me the level of time I want to commit to that thing, right?
Yes.
That's all. But
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that I hate you or we're not friends or something. Just yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We've been talking a lot about like growth and how we're looking at things now. What is like one thing you would say to like your teenage self, like you're just about to leave high school? Who is that girl? What would she want to know based on
Oh my
this trajectory?
God. That teenage girl, she was so lost, baby. Hey, that teenage girl had a boyfriend, okay? A whole boyfriend. And anybody who know me now know I ain't got no boyfriend. Okay, and will never have a boyfriend. So what I would say to that teenage version of myself is that, girl, just hold on. Hold on. Hold on, because what you think you know, you don't know nothing. You don't know shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Mm-hmm.
okay to feel lost when you don't have the tools, and you don't have the information. It's really okay. Right.
Yeah.
Um, I just that girl had so much confusion surrounding her, trying to grow up in a society that was also a little bit against her in some ways, being a real black girl in Jamaica back in the day. I don't know how it is now, but like,
Mm,
I had friends. I maybe even had a crush on a friend, and they'd be like, "Oh, I like that girl that will go that school there, and her hair pretty, and her skin this, and so I just okay, it's like okay, I don't fit here, right? And then I have to be this certain kind of smart. I had to have this
yeah.
kind of vision for myself. You're gonna be a doctor or a lawyer, or you're gonna do this, and none of those things I felt like fit me,
Mm-hmm.
and so my confidence was shaken. In fact, it probably wasn't even there. And I would tell that little girl, just hold on, because the best is yet to come,
Mm,
and it's going to be a bumpy ride,
yeah.
but you'll never forget the route that you took, and you'll never regret the way that you went. Um, all those mistakes, all those things that went bad, for me, I'm so grateful of the version of myself that I am today, that I
Mm,
actually realize now that I would never change anything about my experience. Not the
yeah.
losses, not the trauma, not the failures, the no's, the doors slamming in my face. All of those things have really, really helped me to build my character.
Yeah.
And instead of just taking the L's and sitting with them, I just had to turn some of that into constructive criticism and
Mm,
understand that, what people want for me is not always what I want for myself. Sometimes their intentions are the best,
yeah.
but it doesn't mean that their plan and their route is the way I have to go.
Yeah.
You know, Sometimes it's not about the content, but the context of how you're gonna tackle that thing, and it's okay.
It's okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, 16-year-old Mandlana, yo, you're a star. You're a star. You're a star girl for real. Yeah,
It,
that's what I would say.
honestly, I remember I was talking to my therapist because honestly, you have to have therapy in this day and age. And we were unpacking some things of our own childhood trauma and like some things I allowed from my teenage years. And I was
Yeah.
like, you know that line from Game of Thrones, Jon Snow, you know nothing? Like who was
Seriously.
I? Who, what?
You don't know shit. You don't know.
Nothing.
You
Never
don't
know
know. You don't know.
myself. Nothing. Like I was just floating through based on what people expected of me.
Mm.
And then you become this person in your big girl job doing the same things. And it's so easy to pick up on the things you're not realizing that, like, wait, I don't need to carry these people's expectations anymore.
Not anymore. No. No.
Yeah. Wild.
Yeah. It's so funny. My mother used to say this thing to me, and it's not until this conversation in this moment where I can actually bridge that connection. But my mother used to say something to me. I used to always aggravate me. It used to aggravate me all the time. I've been making mistakes in my teenage life, as mistakes are made for teenagers, and everyone else. But at the time, and she would always say, "Young bird, no storm," and I'm like, "What?" Like I'm so sick of this, like proverbial, like back in the day kind of like thing, young bird no storm. I'm like, all right, I guess so. But now I understand that, like, at the time there's no way that I could have understood what those things really were, the effect and the stuff that they would play out and do. And now I see it, like I see that, trust me, young, even in my 20s I ain't still know nothing for sure. I feel like my 30s though, man. Ooh, I'm riding that 30s wave, baby. Some of that includes some I don't give a okay. I realize that no, and I've embraced that. I realize that some things is just not worth the workup, baby. I ain't doing that. And I want to
Yeah.
be able to be soft to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Tired of this self-flogging, man.
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's how
But
I look at it.
no, based on all these things, I know that you're not a young boy who doesn't know a storm. Um, how would you say you're defining success for yourself at this point?
Success for myself at this point, freedom, I feel like, is success to me.
Yeah.
Freedom in the choices that you get to make for yourself, and freedom in making a difference.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is what success is. Because at one stage, of course, success meant big old scare, marriage, this and that, baby, And
Mm-hmm.
I just come to realize success are the things that feel good,
Yeah.
but also the things that we get to pay it forward with. So you can't be successful, in my opinion, if you can't give back to somebody in some way, whether it's
Yes.
by teaching them something to equip them for life, or maybe even equipping a whole generation for something, or helping to move a real significant piece, right? And for me, I realize now that I know I'm at the age where I do tie success into some form of charity or um volunteering kind of way. Because just the other day I actually got a mentor for the first time in my life. I was so
Mm.
inspired by this lady I met, working on a job catering a shoot, and she's not even along the avenue of my profession, but the way how she coordinates herself, the way how she does things, I'm like, I want that for myself. Um, and in that space, like, it allows me to be vulnerable. It allows me to learn and make mistakes, and be honest with
Yeah.
myself and with somebody else who can keep me accountable for
Yeah.
those things. So yeah, I may have veered off a little bit. I'm not sure, but
No, your answer is your answer, man. Yeah.
that success is that, because I find it successful for her to be able to can give that to me,
Mm-hmm.
to pay it forward in a different way. That to me, I'm like, this girl's successful enough, I want her to be my mentor, because the
Yeah.
way how she gives of herself in addition to accomplishing her goals is that to me. I want that for myself, and that's, I'm not there yet, but I'm on my way
We're
there.
going. We're going.
For
We're
sure.
going. We're growing.
May I go before this up before the roll call up yonder girl. May I go up there.
Bruh, is how I knew all of these country funeral songs before I was like 5 years old. Me and funeral? Oh my god.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
What would you say you're excited about in the near future?
I'm Honestly, I am so fucking excited right now. I don't know what the future gonna be. I don't know what that's going to look like, but I do have a level of excitement that is lit on fire in me right now. I can't explain it, but I know that in that I kind of allowed myself to let go of a lot of expectations of people and things and how I was supposed to do it, and that keeps me excited now because now I'm like, all right, well, what is it going to look like? I don't even know, but I'm ready. Um, I used to be a very scared yes person, say yes to people all the time. And now I'm standing on my boundaries and now I'm just
Yeah,
investing in the things that not only do I need, Nicolette, but the things that I want.
that is
I
it.
think we feel so guilty for things that you want. You know,
Yeah,
like you're supposed to get the things that you need. Of course. But I know the things that I want, the things that really, really resonate with me
yeah,
is what's really gonna make me happy.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna feel those needs, but without those wants, I don't really have it like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I've been working on that, and that has been keeping me excited to do the things that I want, you know, and not live in this. All right, it have to be look like this. It have to be like this. You have to do this first before you do
Yeah.
that. Like, what are you
Mm-hmm.
waiting on?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I
Mhm.
think sometimes, or I don't know what it is, but like the ties to this expectation of our parents stops us from realizing that we literally have free will. Like we are making decisions now as adults.
Literally,
We not have to
literally,
think about
literally.
antidote like one time. Like we can focus on our wants.
Yeah,
We can
we
sleep
can.
in.
We can. And you just prioritize, you prioritize. All right, yeah, you can't do this every week.
Yeah.
You can't, you know what I mean? But all right, little things and what I try to do too is that when I see the opportunity, I just grab it. I just work with it, right? Okay, like my brother come up this week. All right, let's go to I've always wanted to go to a WNBA game. Let's go. He's like, all right. And that was the plan. Boom. I just bought the ticket. I didn't even second guess it because I was just like, once you start thinking about certain things too long, you just start to have a whole different conversation with
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
And I have to shout out Adam again, okay? Because I had a conversation with this person, this wonderful human being, that I recognize how much in the way that we talk to ourselves, how that
Mhm.
affects the things that we do.
Yeah.
So even when he asked me a question and I answered the question, and he was like, he didn't answer the question. And I was mad. I was like, what the hell do you mean? I just answered the question. He said, you say a lot of should. I should be doing this. This, if I did this, this would, bring me peace. And he's like, mean it now. It changes the way that thing plays out for real. I've seen it, I've used it for myself, having those conversations. I'm like, maybe I could score that ball in. Maybe I could land that deal done. Maybe I will keep that brunch party happening. It's
Yeah.
really, yeah, it's really about that conversation that you have with yourself. And so
Mm-hmm.
just try to do that. I just try to switch up my language and realize that the
Mm.
same way I pour that stuff into people, I really get to start here first.
Yes. Big up
Yeah.
Adam.
Say,
Big
goody.
big
I want to
big
see
up
you, man.
Adam. Asking the hard questions and doing the things. Love
You're doing
that.
great. Excellent work. Yes.
What would you say feels like therapy but isn't?
Work. Work. For me personally, I get lost in that space.
Mm,
And that's why people should really do the things that you love.
yeah.
Because if I was supposed to commit all that time to something I hated, I don't know what, and energy too. It
Yeah.
shouldn't be therapy because I should also be able to take a step back. But for me, it definitely is. When I'm working and I'm making food and I'm executing things, there's a there's a rhythm that's going.
Mm,
Most people can tell you like, they try call me, text me, won't even get me because I'm so in the zone that I don't even notice the concept of time, except the time of completing this by this time, by dinner. All right, I'm gonna by dinner. Yeah, all right. All my dishes are complete. Everything's set. Clients are happy. Different things or the event or whatever the thing is. But work is definitely therapy for me.
mm,
Sometimes I'll be mad and I get to work out my emotions through food. I get to create a new recipe I get to taste something different, use different flavors, colors, like all those things are exciting to me.
Yeah.
And when I do that, I also do it with music. So I never cook a dish without playing at least 10 songs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that just keeps me going. It also helps me to keep a track of time. It also, when people walk into the space that I'm working, whatever energy they came with, they have to know actually embrace the energy of the
In
space
the
that I'm in right now
yeah.
because I'm creating that environment. And so for me, the whole thing when I'm done is like a drop mic. I'm like, whew, all right, feel good
Yeah.
now. Can go lay down, you know. Yeah.
As you were talking about the music, I was watching a snippet of this Jamaican short film called Sugar Dumpling with Oliver
Mhm.
Samuels.
Oh my
And
God.
he wanted specific music. Like he plays somebody who is, I think, at the point of like Alzheimer's or having dementia, and he wanted specific food. And his daughter brought like rice and peas, and he's like, this not taste like no love in a this. Like you're playing the music when you cook, like oh you cook this. And there's
Oh
just
my
a
God.
difference. There's a difference in like the ceremony of doing the thing than just like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm just gonna put this together and just eat for
Yeah,
sustenance.
no, it's definitely a process for me. Like, from the start of creating, okay, what are we doing today? All right, I get to go out into these locations, these markets, and see the vegetables, the fruits, the different seasonal stuff. All that stuff is exciting to me. Come back and see all these different things and think, all right, how am I gonna make this all make sense? The whole thing, I feel so involved. That literally there's no time for me to really think about anything else but the thing that I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard for me to respond to emails or, do other things besides the thing I'm doing. And I cook with my heart. I really do. And I think anybody who's ever tasted anything that I've done, you know, can say that. If I don't feel it, I'm honest to God, I'm not gonna do it. And it's gonna come out because I've done that before and it has come out horrible. My emotions are right. They're all energy is transferable.
Yeah.
So for me, down to the food that you eat, it's definitely giving energy.
Yeah.
So it feels good to give off that energy to people.
Mm-hmm.
And when I see their reactions to the thing, sometimes it's the visual reaction. They're like, "Oh my God, there's a giant cookie. It's as big as like two of us sitting here." Mandy Ray did that just because she could do that.
Yeah.
Or it tastes good and they're like, oh my God, like this takes me back to, when my auntie used to, I've had those different things happen and it feels so good to know that I could do that by making something to eat.
That's honestly, that's really cool. And I love that this is something you get to like earn from because so much of our passion projects probably not things you can earn from. But
Mhm.
it's a different space when the thing you're passionate about is also an income stream.
Yeah.
Love
and,
that.
and and to know your value in that too, because
Yeah.
that's also a conversation that people get to have. I remember that I love doing my cooking, right? But I had to bargain a lot for clients because I mean, hey, saying you're a private chef, people think, oh, rich. You got to be rich for sure, and it's not necessarily the truth.
Yeah.
You can, and you can work in a space. Maybe I could work in the Hamptons and be
Mm-hmm.
rich, but I'd be giving up a lot too because I'd be in isolation completely, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of just have to figure out the thing that works for you and know your value. I remember I had a conversation with my cousin. I was like, I want to charge these people this for what I'm doing because I know exactly what I'm bringing to the table. But
Mm-hmm.
they're going to tell me they can't afford that. And she was like, that's okay. She was like, it's okay if someone can't afford it, right? Because maybe they might even work towards earning that service for themselves one day, but the
Yeah.
people who can and who want it are going to pay for it. You
Yeah.
just need to find those people
Yeah.
and not bring your value down. You know what I'm saying? So that was really hard. You had to put in work to find the people that will acknowledge your value, but
Mm-hmm.
it's so much more worth it when you're paid what you know you deserve. You show up like a whole different person. I've had somebody say that to me, like they ask me, "Oh, how much to have you to do this?" And I say, "Well, this is what I take for that." And I said, "Well, I know the price sounds, whatever." And he was like, "No, I'd rather pay you that because I know when I pay you that, I'm getting exactly what I want."
Yeah.
And that's how people appreciate your value. And so that
True.
also adds to what you're doing. Yeah.
This has been so enlightening. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna cook anything specific, but I think
Wait, wait.
it doesn't change how I feel about the kitchen. But
I'm screaming.
um it's pushing me to think more about the things that I
Play
am
around a little
passionate
more.
about and the
Yeah, play
value
around.
behind the thing. Because I think
Yeah,
my biggest issue now as I'm walking through this like freelance journey is because I've been able to do so much with so little in the past. Like, we don't know if to charge people. But yeah,
I
so
got your
like
point.
understanding the value behind it because it's not just today you get up and learn so you can do these things, right? You would have had to put time and effort
Sure. Yeah.
into like creating these recipes and being able to do this thing in a specific time. So yeah, that's my lesson. But or checkout question for today is what are you currently doing to be a better version of you?
Wait, let me sit down for this because,
Yes.
to be
Take a
honest
seat.
with you,
Take a seat.
I was actually trying to pour a little sneak drink because I don't really drink as much, but anymore. But I definitely feel like I need to, just have a little sip because I'm grown. It's really okay.
You're grown. It's okay.
Um, I've allowed myself to make mistakes. I've allowed myself to understand that it's okay to not have all the answers. It's okay to not know what I'm doing right in this moment.
Yeah.
It's okay to ask for help. That's
That's a
something I
big one.
definitely struggled with.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely struggle with that. I felt so guilty growing up to ask for help. You're supposed to kind of handle it yourself, or you keep it within the family, whatever it is. And I
Yeah.
realized now that it's okay to ask for help or admit that, hey, right now I'm in a spot. I don't know what I'm doing or whatever the concern is. Um, and with that, in we spoke about giving yourself grace.
Yeah.
I've really, really given myself that. But I work for it. Like I really work on it. Every single day of my life, I realize as an adult, oh my goodness, there's actually no days off. Right. And once I have acknowledged that, and I've also acknowledged that there's gonna be good and bad regardless of what you do, it's allowed me to just be myself,
Yeah.
um, be present, and understand that what I imagine for myself, it's okay to be a little bit delusional. I feel like I'd
That,
rather
yes.
be delusional than be with the trend. To be honest with you, um, because sometimes that is just not for me.
Mm-hmm.
And how I see something, maybe nobody will see it until I'm able to show it to them by what I'm doing anyway.
Yeah.
So let me just stick to the plan of what works for me. Um, and that has allowed me to continue to grow. I want to grow in that direction, to be the better version of myself, give myself some grace, give myself a chance to look at things differently and
Mhm.
update my commitment on the things,
Yes.
and just realize it's all a journey. It's all a journey. And I'm trying to be present for um, my mom and all the people that are not here with me anymore.
Yes.
I definitely still have that thing on me where I still especially want to make them proud.
Mm-hmm.
And in making them proud, I make myself proud. So I'm really
Mm-hmm.
cool with that. Not trying to feel this big expectation, but understand that hey, you did that thing. You
Yeah.
know, you fed yourself today. Congratulations. You
Yeah.
know,
It's the small
you know,
things
you
sometimes.
did the laundry and you put it away, girl. We're doing big things.
10
We're
out of
doing big
10.
things.
Yeah.
So what's the other thing that we can tackle today? All right, we're gonna open up that email. It's gonna be all right. The tea, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'm gonna be doing the tea. Only if I'm sick or have a sore throat, I'll drink the tea. But you know, all those other things, I feel like it's just a lot of little things. We all think it's this big grand thing. Well, I did.
Mm-hmm.
Just tell me what to do, damn it. And I
Yeah.
realize a lot of us are winging it. Even our parents, even at this age, are still winging certain things, and we don't have it all, and it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I think one of the bigger things that came out of like my grieving process a few years ago, we lost one of our friends who was like such a visionary. I remember I created this, bro. It was so funny. I created this email signature And I was like, oh, think outside of the box. And I responded to an email from him and he called me. He's like, what kind of email signature this? I was like, oh, it's like, this is a really cool idea. And he's like, but can you imagine that all of our thoughts and everything that we're bringing to the table is within the box? So, really, the creativity part is using what is within the box to create something that other people think would be outside of the box. I was like,
Mhm.
damn, okay, you have a point.
Mhm.
And one of the things he used to say was live immediately, this quote from Seneca. And I think a lot of the time to me, it felt like this, it's a big thing. Like, what do you mean live? Like, I have to go and like jump on a boat or like zip line or whatever.
Right.
But
Right, right,
but it
right. Jump
really
onto a
means,
plane.
right?
Yeah,
But it really means what makes me feel alive today. Like what? Because a lot of the time when we are disassociated or disconnected from self, we're just going through all the motions. Like we're not feeling the presence of our body and like
yeah,
tasting this food or enjoying this moment. But what
yeah,
will make me feel alive today? Like I'm present in my body, grateful for this day, meeting this day with purpose and whatever it is. And I'm not gonna lie, some days when I get it, some days
yeah,
it is what it
yeah,
is.
for
But
sure.
keeping it at the back of your mind that living every day looks different, but it's a reminder to keep doing the things.
Yeah, I will, and when I say keep it simple, those things that really add to the better version of you, little things like holding a door for somebody, saying
Yeah.
hi. You never know where that's gonna take you.
Yeah.
I have had some of the most beautiful conversation with strangers,
Mm-hmm.
just because I allowed myself to do that.
Yeah.
I remember one day I was incredibly sad. I was so sad, and I was missing my mom. I was like, yo, I just wish my mother was here. And at the time, I was walking home from the train and I saw two women. They looked like my mother's age. They were not my mother's race. They didn't look anything like my mother, but they looked like mothers.
Mm.
And I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to say something to them. That is a certain level of vulnerability and a
Yeah.
little bit of crazy and bravery, but I did. I said, all right,
Yeah.
I'm going to say something to them. And I said, excuse me. And of course, they were a little bit like thrown off. I said, this, girl come up to them crying. And I said to them, I just want to share with you that, I lost my mom like a couple years ago and I'm really, really, really missing her a lot right now. And I just want to say that to somebody because I don't want to carry it home.
Mm. Yeah,
Um,
that's very
and
vulnerable for sure. Yeah.
they one just actually opened her arms wide and she just ran into me and
Oh,
she just hugged me. And it was such a authentic hug.
yeah.
And I hugged her and I kind of collapsed into her and she said, baby girl, I'm a mom and I'm your mom too. And
Oh,
that, like, yo, honestly, like I feel emotional saying it and talking about it now because it felt so good.
yeah.
And I know that if I didn't put myself in that opportunity of vulnerability, I would not have been able to receive that.
Yeah.
So she and her friend hugged me and they gave me some encouraging words, and it totally, lifted me from. It
Oh,
didn't lift me out completely, but it definitely lifted me from that bottom. I was
yeah.
up and I was like, all right, whew. That was definitely my mother just now, even though it wasn't my mother.
Yeah.
Those little things, you just never know where it's gonna take you. You never know where that new plant, that new leaf gonna blossom and you say, bombard that. It just the little things. You
Yeah.
walk the dog. I like for me, I walk the dog and I get to see a tree I've never seen before.
Yeah.
I get to see a person or, just all those little things really contribute to my happiness. Rather than saying, oh, if I had this big mansion, everything gonna be all right. When is that gonna happen, man? In this
Yeah.
economy? Are you kidding me?
This economy
When our parents were buying a house for the price of two
for
Adidas,
20
at this
cents on the
time,
dollar. Like
it
what?
is not. It is not the same, baby. And it's okay for you to feel like I can't make that right now.
Yeah.
Like it's really okay, but I still get to enjoy life at the
Mhm.
very least.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. We have to take those moments of joy because life not giving you anything, bro. What a time. This was a lovely conversation,
this
Mandy.
was great. This was
I feel
great.
like every time I say to myself, boy, I feel like I am not Cause emails are pressure, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Emails for sure are one of the crosses to bear.
Listen, nobody's talking about it.
Nobody's
Nobody's talking
talking
about it
about how
enough. We're
much
not protesting
emails.
emails. No, we're not. We're not. We're not.
Yeah,
Emails should be a Monday to Wednesday only thing, and then nobody else should have to respond to emails for
no,
the rest of the week. That's how
yeah.
I see it. Yeah.
'Cause I always feel like I am not doing what I need to be doing, but then the conversation that happens on the back end, I feel like there is no way this could have happened at the point that we initially wanted it to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we just have to give time. We have to give the pause. It's time. It's okay. Things
It
happen
is.
as they should,
Mm-hmm.
not how we want. So
And sometimes even when people have the best intentions for you, they still couldn't live your life.
no,
So you still have to make that decision for yourself.
yes.
Whatever it is that feels, right. As long as you're not hurting nobody or committing no crime. And you try to be a part of community. And that will also keep you accountable on the right track of the things that you're doing. Yeah.
Thank you so much for spending the
Ah,
time with me today.
thank you for
Honestly,
having me.
so good. There's so many things in this. I just don't know what to do. Um, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Follow along with us wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our content on the website, thegrownupmillennial.com. Follow us on Instagram at thegrownupmillennial and like our page on Facebook, The Grown Up Millennial. Find us everywhere.